What's up guys, Fortexfiend here. Welcome back again to the channel with another video on SD Gundam G Generation Eternal. In this video, we're going to ask the question, should you be pulling for the upcoming banner that features Calibarn and Destiny? Now, before I go ahead and get started, you guys know the drill. There is a subscribe button, a notification bell. Leave a like or dislike and comment down below if you've had a chance to take a look at the official X account and see the details that they teased for these upcoming brand new units. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So we got Gundam Calibarn right here. It is an attacker type, as we know, limited time unit. So once this banner leaves, we gotta wait until they bring it back. And the EX weapon they tease is called Variable Rod Rifle EX. So it has up to a range of 5, which is excellent. We got ourselves another good range damage dealer. It's at a 5700 weapon power for an EX that costs 10 HP. So this costs 10% HP, excuse me, not 10 HP, 10% HP to use. And that 5700 weapon power, I'm pretty sure, is at level 1. So at level 5, I imagine this is going to be a lot more powerful because there's got to be a trade-off here if you're going to be draining your health. And then the weapon power increase gets higher the remaining HP, up to a 15% increase, which is pretty significant. But remember, however, you're also losing some health out on this, which, you know, once we take a look at Suletta, maybe there's going to be like a bit of a trade-off here. And from what I was told, this design is pretty much based on the anime, where in the anime, you know, when Suletta pilots Calibarn, it puts a huge strain on her. So this is likely why they designed it this way. I like the lore accuracy of it, which I think is cool. But we're just going to have to see. But all in all, I think it's a unique design, Dark Knight-esque strategy. It also has an ability that increases its own attack by 10% while HP is at 75% or higher. So it's stacking a lot of attack as long as its HP is really high, but the EX weapon drains it. So it's definitely a riskier style of play, but it sounds like there's going to be like a little bit of a reward to this risk as well. Now we're going to go ahead and take a look at Suletta. So Suletta has an increased chance step. Very nice. We like our double chance step attackers. She has a character skill, that restores own HP by 60%. So there you go. She kind of mitigates that whole, oh, I'm going to drain my health to use this really powerful attack. And she has another skill that increases max range of weapons by 1. So that's fantastic. So that way, you can kind of keep her out of harm's way and position her a little bit better with this. So that way, she's not taking damage because she's already damaging herself. And she's able to hit really hard with that EX skill. Now, she also has a passive or an ability that lowers the HP cost by a flat 5%. So there you go. She kind of mitigates that whole 10% and reduces it. So now she's only taking 5% HP cost whenever she uses that EX attack with Calibarn. And she also reduces the damage that she takes by 15% if she's piloting a unit with a gun to arm tag. So right there and there, we see that the pilot is given something to kind of help mitigate that. I'm hoping when we actually see the units in action, when the banner comes out, that there is maybe some sort of an HP regen or something like that. And you definitely want to play Suletta and Calibarn with like a really powerful defender. So that way, in the event that she gets targeted, she's going to get defended by one of your powerful defenders. So all in all, I think it's a really cool design. I imagine this is going to be very powerful. Do I think this is going to dethrone Burning Gundam? On paper right now, I don't think so. But again, there's got to be some sort of like a high risk, you know, high reward factor when it comes to using these two because of the fact that it's draining health. So we're just going to have to see when it comes out. But all in all, I think it's a really cool design. And I think it's definitely moving towards less like auto damage. You know, I'm just going to go in there, guns a-blazing. You got to be a bit more strategic, it seems like, when you're using this unit along with the pilot. Okay, next is going to be Destiny Gundam, another limited time unit attacker. The custom weapon or the featured weapon is going to be the MMI 714 Erendite Beam Sword. So this comes with a 6800 weapon power. Now again, I'm not sure if that's level 1 or at max, but I imagine that's just at level 1. So it's probably going to be even higher than that. It does cost 2 MP to use, so it's going to lower your MP bar just a little bit, but it provides a greater weapon power the higher the MP, up to 15%. So right off the bat, this is giving me like high burst damage, like right out the door. And I imagine the pilot is going to have some sort of a way, like, you know, MP up to be able to get his MP all the way up, and that way you could deal as much damage as possible. Also has an ability that increases own critical damage by 20%. So we got a unit that is probably also going to be like crit based. And we've seen that already, for example, with Master Gundam. But because this is a limited unit, it's probably going to be a lot more powerful than Master Gundam. But all in all, really cool. And now we're going to go ahead and take a look at the pilot here, which is Shinn Asuka. So no indication of a double chance step. However, this is quite interesting. So he has an ability that makes it possible to enter that supercharged EX state when Vigor is supercharged while piloting Destiny Gundam. While he's in the state, he gets an increase to crit, melee, and reaction by 20% for 1 turn. That's quite good. Now check this out. Now the following turn after that, criticals become guaranteed and melee and reaction increase by 50%. That's crazy. However, there's a cost. His MP will decrease by 12 the turn after. So it's like this, it's like he goes Super Saiyan for like just a split second, or like think of it as like activating like Kaioken, where like Goku activates it strategically because of the strain that it puts, but then afterwards it like depletes him right after. So the way that I see this combination of this pilot and his unit, it's like a super boss killer, right? Like you get out there, you set up, and then you deal as much damage to like a boss, for example, in some of the harder like eternal roads, and then afterwards you kind of like reset yourself and you got to do it again. I think it's a cool design. Again, kind of similar to Suletta. You can't really go like auto big damage right away. You got to be a little bit more strategic when it comes to playing these units. And I think that's kind of cool that they designed them this way. And right off the bat, I do think damage-wise, Shinn is going to be out damaging Burning from the get-go, because he could, essentially deal all this damage like within the first 2 turns. However, I do think Burning is still the more sustained, better damage dealer, just because he doesn't deplete his MP all the way down right afterwards. And then he also has this character skill that increases own evasion by 100%. So yeah, Sway, which is nice, good way to keep him alive, because since, after 2 turns, he gets that decrease all the way down. So he's going to be kind of in a vulnerable state. So it's good that they gave him that. But all in all, that's quite powerful. That's really, really powerful. Again, you got to be strategic with it, but there is a lot of reward if you're able to play these units, properly. Okay. Next is going to be the ship, and I called it. I was all like, in the last video, I'm pretty sure this is going to be a limited time ship, and it is. So we got Talia and Minerva, and the tag that's going to be impacted is Tough as Nails. So right off the bat, URs that have this tag already, and I'm pretty sure the new ones are going to have it too, is like, for example, UR Barbatos Lupus Rex is part of Tough as Nails. The UR, the O, is part of that. Full Armor, Gundam Full Armor Thunderbolt is also part of that. What else? Death Scythe Hell Custom is also part of that. So Tough as Nails is going to be getting an increase in terms of like the meta, if you want to call it that, because with a limited time ship, we know that the stat increase is higher. And to top it off, has a support skill that restores HP and energy. Oh my! So it looks like One-Shot Killer Ship might have been dethroned as the best ship in the game. We're just going to have to see, definitely, with the units and everything, but that's quite good. It restores both now. Now, I imagine maybe because it's doing both, I'm speculating that the HP restoration isn't going to be nearly as high, but we're just going to have to see. But that's fantastic. It does both. I think that's really, really cool. But I'm already seeing a ton of value with this banner, guys. Just, we got limited thrown at us right off. These limited things thrown at us, for this banner, which I guess is a great way to end the year for SD Gundam G Generation Eternal. And finally, they are going to be rerunning the limited time Strike Freedom. And from the looks of it, when I took a look at this, it doesn't look like they really showed any kind of like buffs that they gave this. But to be honest, I don't really think Strike Freedom nor Kira Yamato needed a buff. I know that there was an argument that, they buffed Gato and GPO2A, but that unit kind of needed it, to be honest. I mean, it has that really powerful nuke, but aside from that, like, I honestly hardly used that unit in like some of the stages that I've played that's harder. So that unit kind of needed, but we're just gonna have to see. Maybe when we actually see the full kit, when this returning character and unit is on the banner, perhaps there might be a buff. But even if Strike Freedom and Kira don't get a buff, I really didn't think they needed it, because this unit is still really, really strong. This pilot and the unit are extremely strong. They've still been doing content really well for those of us that were able to pull. The numbers speak for themselves. I see people still use this unit even in Master Leagues when One-Shot Killer or any of the tags that this thing has is not even featured. So that just goes to show you the value of Strike Freedom and Kira. But yeah, excellent that they're finally bringing back this unit and pilot. And they're also going to be bringing back another UR limited time support for the One-Shot Killer tag, which is Lacus and Eternal, which is great. So for those of you that are missing out on this warship, this is your chance to get it now. I've been using this thing a lot. A lot of us have that already have it, but now is your chance to finally be able to pull it if you didn't get a chance to pull for it last time. So, with all of that said, should you be pulling for this banner? Now, if you've already have plans on pulling, these are your favorites, you've already have diamonds saved up, you're going to be pulling, no questions asked. This video is pretty much not really for you. But if you're on the fence, again, kind of leverage what you have, see what you have available. If you think you could clear content fine without pulling for this, then you're probably going to be okay. However, let's say from an unbiased perspective, this is a very good banner to pull on. One, there's a ton of limited stuff on here, so if you don't pull for it now, you're gonna have to wait until it comes back, which that's okay, and I get it. For those of us that are still waiting for, like, for example, Endless Waltz or Gundam 00, something like that to come out, then you might want to skip. But if you do pull on this banner, there's a lot of value on this. You got 3 really powerful attackers, 2 that are unique because you kind of got to be, you got to strategize a little bit more in order to play them effectively. But I'm pretty sure there's going to be like a really good reward in order to play them efficiently, because of their design. So we're just going to have to see when they come out. But all in all, there's a ton of value on this banner, and I do think it's going to be worth it if you guys do invest some of your diamonds into it. But for those of us that are pulling, good luck. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, what you guys think of these brand new units and everything. I think it's a great banner, but I want to hear from you guys. Thank you guys again for watching. Stay tuned for the next video, and stay blessed, everybody.